Hello and welcome to today's video. So this time we're going to be taking the first of two looks through one of my favourite authors, Andrea Camilleri. Now this author was most famous for his Inspector Montalbano crime thrillers, all set in Sicily, and they are absolutely fantastic, and I've been a real fan of these since they started getting published in the UK back in 2002. So I'm pleased to say I've got a full set of all the hardbacks now, and I've also got a few advanced copies as well. So we'll look at the first half today, and we'll look at the second half in a future video. So sit back, relax, and let's get to it. Okay, so Andrea Camilleri was born on the 6th of September 1925, and he died just last year, aged 93, on the 17th of July 2019. In 1994, Camilleri published the first in a long series of novels, La Forma dell'Acqua, which is the Shape of Water, which featured the character of Inspector Montalbano, a fractious Sicilian detective in the police force of Vigata, an imaginary Sicilian town. The series is written in Italian originally, but with a substantial sprinkling of Sicilian phrases and grammar. The name Montalbano is a homage to the Spanish writer Manuel Vázquez Montalbán, and the similarities between Montalbán's Pepe Carvalho and Camilleri's fictional detective are noteworthy. Both writers do make use of their protagonists' gastronomic preferences. The TV adaptation of Montalbano's adventures, starring Luca Zingaretti, further increased Camilleri's popularity to such a point that in 2003, Camilleri's hometown, Porta Empedocle, on which Vigata is modelled, took the extraordinary step of changing its official name to that of Porta Empedocle Vigata, no doubt with an eye to capitalising on the tourism possibilities thrown up by the author's work. So there we are, that's a little potted history of which I pulled together from online. Now, I will go through the books in order, and the first one is The Shape of Water here, and this was the very first Inspector Montalbano book. And what I think I'll do as we look through these books, I will sort of relay the plot of each one. Certainly this is the first English edition, so they were published in Italy from 1994, but in the UK they came out in 2002, and the whole series are translated by Stephen Sartarelli, and he does a really good job. Lots of one of the main attractions to these is that on the whole, they can be completed in 2 or 3 sittings, and I find them the perfect books to take on holiday with me. So what I thought I'd do as we go through these, we'll have a look at them, but I'll also tell you the plot, or the synopsis of each one, basically. So if there is a particular one that you fancy diving into, at least you've got a bit of an idea of what the book is actually about. So in this one, then, The Shape of Water, when 2 employees of the Splendor Refuse Collection Company discover the body of engineer Silvio Luparello, one of the local movers and shakers, apparently deceased in flagrante at the pasture, the coroner's verdict is death by natural causes. But Inspector Salvo Montalbano, as honest as he is streetwise and as scathing to fools and villains as he is compassionate to their victims, is not ready to close the case, even though he's been pressured by Vigato's police chief, judge, and bishop. So there we are. That's the opening volume in The Shape of the Water. This would have been the very first appearance of Montalbano to the UK, and this was the advanced proof copy. This publication date there, the 18th of April 2003. Nice little book there. So that's the very first one in the series. As I said, we're going to do the first half today, and then we'll take a look at the second half in a future video. So the next book then is The Terracotta Dog. And once again, let's pop those over there a little bit further. I do have the original UK first edition and also the proof, which would have come out a little bit before then. All right, so this is The Terracotta Dog. So this one opens with a mysterious tete-a-tete with a mafioso, some inexplicably abandoned loot from a supermarket heist, and some dying words that lead Inspector Montalbano to a secret grotto in a mountain cave where 2 young lovers, dead 50 years and still embracing, are watched over by a life-size terracotta dog. Montalbano's passion to solve this old crime takes him, heedless of personal danger, on a journey through the island's past into a family's dark heart amid the horrors of World War II. There you go. This one is one of my favourites. I very, very much enjoyed this particular one. It's got real twists and turns and a fantastic sort of opening, which you'll just fly through it because you'll really want to find out what actually happens. So yes, Terracotta Dog, one of the highlights in the series for me. And that was book number 2. Let's pop that over there. Now, number 3 is The Snack Thief. And I don't have a proof copy for this one, just the regular edition. And I found this one a little bit tougher to find. Some of these have got quite scarce. Maybe it didn't quite have the same sort of print run that some of the other ones did, but even so, it's still a UK first, and that's all that matters. So the plot behind this one then, so when an elderly man is stabbed to death in an elevator and a crewman on an Italian fishing trawler is machine gunned by a Tunisian patrol boat off Sicily's coast, only Inspector Montalbano suspects a link between the two incidents. His investigation leads to the beautiful Karima, an impoverished house cleaner and sometimes prostitute, whose young son steals other schoolchildren's mid-morning snacks. But Carmina disappears, and the young snack thief's life, as well as Montalbano's, is endangered when the inspector exposes a viper's nest of government corruption and international intrigue. Well, there you go. That is The Snack Thief, and that's book number 3 in the series. So book 4 is The Voice of the Violin. Now, I understand, by this time I was buying the books brand new as they were getting published, but I do understand that The Snack Thief is one of The Voice of the Violin. This is actually one of the tougher ones to get. It's certainly the first one in the now familiar cover design, which I really, really like. It sort of shouts out for Sicily, doesn't it? I'm just wondering if the actual cover artist is credited as well, because he's done such a good job of creating an identity for the series. No, I can't actually see the cover artist. So if anyone knows who actually started designing these great jackets, so these really distinctive jackets, do please leave a comment below, because I would very much like to know. But yes, this is The Voice of the Violin, and along with the advanced reading copy of this one. So let's look at the plot of The Voice of the Violin. So Montalbano's gruesome discovery of a naked young woman suffocated in her bed immediately sets him on a search for her killer. Among the suspects are her aging husband, a famous doctor, a shy admirer, now disappeared, an antique-stealing lover from Bologna, and the victim's friend Anna, whose charms Montalbano cannot help but appreciate. It is a mysterious, reclusive violinist who holds the key to this murder. This is a great one. It's got a real good twist at the end as well, so I think this is another one that you will very much enjoy. So by this time, the series is already a hit, and the TV show adaptations have started. I believe they were first shown on the BBC, and the books are big hits as they come out. So that was The Voice of the Violin. So the next one is The Excursion to Tindari. Now, this is another very, very clever book with a bit of a twist at the end as well. I do also have the proof of this. This is actually the last proof I've got. I don't think they actually proofed all the books, as to my knowledge, but they did proof these early ones. So this is my last one, and this is certainly not mint or unread. It was a gift from a friend of mine I used to work with. So it's got a couple of little splashes on there, but it is quite a scarce book after all. So here's the plot for Excursion to Tindari. A young Don Juan is found murdered in front of his apartment building early one morning, and an elderly couple is reported missing after an excursion to the ancient site of Tindari. 2 seemingly unrelated cases for Inspector Montalbano to solve amid the daily complications of life at Vigato Police Headquarters. But when Montalbano discovers that the couple and the murdered young man lived in the same building, he's led down a path more evil and more far-reaching than any he has been down before. Well, there you go, eh? Pretty good stuff, this one. Once again, really, really fascinating, this one. I love the way the plot builds up on this, and he does such a great job. So, once again, this one does come highly recommended. These are such great books. I'm sure you'll love them. Okay, on to the next one now, which is The Scent of the Night. Now, it was at this point that I knew I was absolutely hooked by these, and I decided to, because I knew Andrea Camilleri was certainly getting on in years, and although in the UK we were a little bit behind on what had actually been written and published in Italy, so I knew we had a few more books that hadn't seen the light of day. In the end, it was over 20, but it was at this point that I decided, a bit like Patrick O'Brien, another author who I absolutely love, to limit myself to reading one book a year. So these I would always take on holiday reading with me. It would be one Andrea Camilleri and one Patrick O'Brien, simply because I know there's now not going to be any more. So I'm eking them out at one book a year going forward, because both authors I absolutely love, and I think their writing is fantastic, and I just want to have that treat at least once a year. So it was, I've read this one, I've read a few after this as well, but at this point I've tried to resist reading too many prior to it. So anyway, this is The Scent of the Night, so that's what this one's about. So when an angry octogenarian holds a terrified and lovelorn secretary at gunpoint, Inspector Montalbano is reluctantly drawn into the case. The secretary's boss, a financial advisor, has vanished along with several billion lira entrusted to him by the good citizens of Vigata. Also missing is the advisor's young colleague, whose uncle just happens to be building a house on the site of Inspector Montalbano's favourite olive tree. There we are. How dare they? How dare they, eh? So that's The Scent of the Night. The next one is called Rounding the Mark. Another very, very interesting one, this. So, increasingly disillusioned with his government and the world in general, Inspector Montalbano is considering retirement. He is starting to feel his age, and even his favourite restaurant has closed. But when he bumps into a dead body during a bracing swim, his detective instincts are aroused once more, particularly when the most likely identity of the victim is a man already long buried. There we are. So that's Rounding the Mark. Next one we've got is The Patience of the Spider. Chief Inspector Montalbano is on enforced sick leave, but when a local girl goes mysteriously missing, the whole community takes an interest in the case. Why are the kidnappers so sure that the girl's impoverished father and dying mother will be able to find a fortune? The ever-inquisitive Montalbano steps in to get to the heart of the matter in his own imitable style. That doesn't give a lot away on this one. This is one of the longer ones in the series, but it's still absolutely fantastic. And once again, it's got some good little plot twists at the end. So, Patience of the Spider, another good one. That was book number 8, I believe. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, this is number 9, The Paper Moon. As he gets older, Inspector Montalbano is plagued by existential questions, but he doesn't have much time to wax philosophical before the gruesome murder of a man, shot in the face at point-blank range with his pants down, commands his attention. Add 2 evasive, beautiful women as prime suspects, dirty cocaine, dead politicians, mysterious computer codes, and a series of threatening letters, and things soon get very complicated at police headquarters in Vigata. There you go, that's a write-up and a half, isn't it, that one? And it's nice they start showing the books on the back. They're very much a series that I believe should be read in order. They don't have to be, by any means, but I believe they should be read in order. Great cover, this one. This just, to me, it reeks of summer reading, doesn't it? And it's good stuff, this. So this is August Heat. The lazy, slow month of August at the height of the Sicilian summer is, Inspector Montalbano assures his girlfriend Lavia as they prepare for a relaxing holiday in a villa he has found for them, far too hot for any murders to be committed. But when Lavia's friend's young son goes missing, a chain of events is sparked which will certainly ruin the Chief Inspector's pleasant interlude. Well, there we are. Nothing worse than getting your holiday spoiled, is it? Okay. Last couple now. So, The Wings of the Sphinx. Things are not going well for Inspector Montalbano. His long-distance relationship with Livia is on the rocks. He feels himself getting even older, and he's growing tired of the violence in his job. Then the dead body of a young woman is found in an illegal dump, with half her face missing. Her identity at first unknown, a tattoo of a sphinx moth on her left shoulder links her with 3 other girls bearing the same mark, all recent Russian immigrants to Italy. Victims of an underworld sex trade, these girls have been rescued from the mafia nightclub circuit by a Catholic charity organisation. But what really lies behind the organisation's charitable facade? Well, what indeed? And the last one we're going to have a look at today is The Track of Sand. Inspector Montalbano rises one morning to find the carcass of a horse on the beach in front of his seaside home. But no sooner do his men arrive than the body has mysteriously vanished, leaving only a track in the sand. Before long, Rochelle, a beguiling equestrian champion, turns up at police headquarters to report her horse missing. The horse has been stabled at the grounds of a certain Salverio Loduca, one of the richest men in Sicily. Loduca has lost one of his own horses too. Montalbano, his curiosity piqued, investigates, but before long things take a more disturbing turn. There you go. So that's The Track of Sand, and this is actually the next one to read. So I am very much looking forward to that one. So there we go. That is the first dozen Andrea Camilleris. I do hope you've enjoyed our little look through them. They certainly are a great, great series. And if you've never dipped your toe in the waters with these, I do strongly suggest you do, because they very much warrant a read. And as I said, they're not long reads by any means, but they are certainly a lot of fun, and I absolutely love them, and I'm sure you will too. So do look for part 2, where we look through the second part of the Montalbano novels very soon. So that's it for today. I do hope you've enjoyed this little look through the first dozen or so Montalbano novels. They're certainly very, very nice, and a great, great series to start collecting. If you have enjoyed today's video, do please give it a thumbs up. Do please consider subscribing for regular book and vintage paperback content. There's lots on the channel already, and there's certainly lots more to come. Thank you very much for watching today, and I shall look forward to seeing you again very soon. Bye.